What if I told you that some of the most powerful wisdom about success has never appeared in your social media feed? While everyone shares the same recycled quotes from the same few famous people, there's an entire universe of profound insights hiding in plain sight. Today, I'm going to share with you 15 extraordinary quotes about success that you've probably never heard before, but should have learned years ago. These aren't just pretty words. These are life-changing perspectives from entrepreneurs who built empires, scientists who changed the world, philosophers who understood human nature, and athletes who redefined what's possible. Each quote I'm about to share contains a secret that successful people have used for centuries. Let's start with something that completely reframes how you think about opportunity. Richard Branson once said, "Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming." Think about that for a moment. How many times have you beaten yourself up for missing an opportunity? How many sleepless nights have you spent regretting that perfect moment you let slip by? Branson built a billion-dollar empire by understanding this fundamental truth. Scarcity is an illusion when it comes to opportunity. While everyone else is panicking about the bus they missed, successful people are calmly waiting for the next one. They know something you might not. Opportunities aren't rare events. They're constantly flowing around us. Here's another quote that will change how you define success itself. Steve Jobs said, "Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me." This from a man who could have focused purely on wealth accumulation but chose meaning instead. Jobs understood that real success isn't measured by your bank account. It's measured by your ability to look yourself in the mirror at the end of each day and feel proud of what you've contributed to the world. This perspective shift alone can transform your entire approach to your career and life. Now let me share something from a woman who literally had to create her own path to success. Madam C.J. Walker, America's first female self-made millionaire, said, "I had to make my own living and my own opportunity. But I made it. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them." Walker was born to former slaves and worked in cotton fields and as a washerwoman. She didn't wait for someone to give her permission to succeed. She created her own hair care empire when no one believed in her vision. Her words remind us that waiting for the perfect opportunity is just another form of procrastination. Sometimes you have to build the bridge while you're walking on it. Benjamin Franklin gave us this gem: either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. This quote cuts straight to the heart of legacy thinking. Franklin wasn't just telling us to be productive. He was challenging us to live a life so meaningful that it becomes a story worth telling. Every single day you have a choice. You can consume other people's stories or you can create your own. You can be a spectator in life or you can be the main character. Franklin lived this philosophy, becoming an inventor, diplomat, writer, and founding father. What story are you writing with your life? Here's wisdom from Alexander Graham Bell that most people ignore. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. In our instant gratification culture, this quote feels almost rebellious. Everyone wants the quick fix, the life hack, the overnight success story. But Bell spent years preparing before he invented the telephone. He studied, experimented, failed, and tried again. His quote reminds us that what looks like sudden success is usually the result of years of invisible preparation. While others are looking for shortcuts, successful people are doing the work. The ancient philosopher Heraclitus understood something about success that most people miss entirely. Day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is who you become. Success isn't an event, it's a process of daily becoming. Every morning you wake up and vote for the person you want to become. Your choices, thoughts, and actions are your balance. The person you are today is the result of thousands of small decisions you made yesterday, last week, last year. If you want to change your life, you don't need a dramatic transformation. You just need to start voting differently. Aristotle taught us about the hardest battle we'll ever fight. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over the self. External challenges are nothing compared to the war within. Your biggest enemy isn't your competition, your circumstances, or your lack of resources. Your biggest enemy is the voice in your head that tells you to stay comfortable, to to avoid risk, to choose the easier path. Mastering that voice is the real work of success. Let me share something that will change how you think about your legacy. Pericles said, "What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others." This quote hits different when you really think about it. Your impact isn't measured by your achievements, it's measured by how you've changed the people around you. The greatest successes in history aren't remembered for what they built, but for how they inspired others to build. How are you weaving your influence into the lives of others? Here's a quote from athlete Gertrude Ederle that captures the essence of breakthrough thinking. "I just knew if it could be done, it had to be done, and I did it." Ederle was the first woman to swim across the English Channel, and she did it faster than any man before her. Notice the simplicity of her mindset. She didn't overcomplicate it. She didn't create elaborate plans or wait for perfect conditions. She saw what was possible and decided she was the person to make it happen. Sometimes success requires this kind of bold certainty. Baseball legend Hank Aaron gave us this: "My motto was always to keep swinging." Whether I was in a slump or feeling badly or having troubles off the field, the only thing to do was keep swinging. Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record despite facing intense racism and death threats. His philosophy is beautifully simple. When you don't know what else to do the thing that got you there in the first place. Keep swinging. Keep showing up. Keep trying. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Maya Angelou understood something profound about failure. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. Angelou reframes defeat not as something to avoid, but as something necessary for self-discovery. Your defeats teach you who you really are. They show you what you're made of. They become the foundation of your eventual victory. Coco Chanel offered this counterintuitive insight: success is most often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and sometimes it's a superpower. When you truly believe something is possible, you approach it with a different energy. You take risks that smart people wouldn't take. You persist when logic says to quit. Sometimes the best strategy is to be too naive to know that what you're attempting is supposed to be impossible. Finally, here's something from tech executive Marissa Mayer: "I always did something I was a little not ready to do." I think that's how you grow. When there's that moment of, wow, I'm not really sure I can do this, and you push through those moments, that's when you have a breakthrough. Growth lives in discomfort. If you're always ready, you're not growing. If you're always comfortable, you're not advancing. The magic happens when you say yes to things that scare you a little bit. These aren't just quotes, they're blueprints for a different kind of life. Each one contains a principle that can transform how you approach success, failure, opportunity, and growth. So here's my challenge to you. Pick the quote that resonated most strongly with you today. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. Let it become the lens through which you view your challenges and opportunities. Which of these quotes spoke to you? Drop it in the comments below and tell me how you're going to apply its wisdom to your life. Because the real power of these words isn't in hearing them, it's in living them.